Yes. This word is being spoken for each one here in consciousness. And if there is anyone or any place on this planet that you would like to have included, just think of that name now and know that this word also is for them. That you are the opening through which this word of truth reaches that place, that person. So there is only one life. It is a mind that thinks only of itself because there's nothing else to think about. Anything that this one mind thinks about is its own self. And it is a law that creates as the thinking is done. In fact, thinking is creating. It is the same activity. This thinking is omnipresent, and it is present right where each one is. Each one is experiencing thinking. And that thinking of the divine mind, knowing itself, its I am that I am, is happening right now. And yet each one has the choice to think the divine thoughts or to think something else. However, whatever is thought is created. The divine's thought of I am that I am is first cause, and its thought is intelligent, it is abundant, it is the pure substance, its essence of itself, pure life, light, love, power, peace, beauty, harmony, joy. This thought of the divine is being thought, and it is the divine's thought that is causing everything to be. And yet the experience of any particular person of all that this is and the substance from which all is created is decorated by one's own choice of thinking. And so right now, it is recognized that no matter what anyone is choosing to think, even if it is thoughts of God is not, these human thoughts that have been chosen cannot overrule or hide or stop the thinking of the divine. The thinking of the divine, of the infinite thinker, is continuously thinking, knowing, being, I am, I am, I am. And as a result of this, this universe is and is and is. Always something new, but always that result of I am. And so what this universe is thinking is creating a beautiful universe, intelligently operating, with everything in balance and harmony, with a continuous capacity to expand and grow and provide more and more room for everything in it that it is knowing to thrive and express and grow and expand. This is the divine thought, and everything that is required for any particular expression of the divine in this universe to thrive and prosper is provided. This one divine thinker, I am that I am, is the source and is the supply of all that is required in expressing this life freely, healthfully, joyfully, and abundantly, continuously thinking. This I am that I am is an ever active activity of creating, of being. This divine thinker does not and cannot stop its thought. And likewise, each one cannot stop his or her thinking. Those thoughts are continuous, thought after thought. And the thought to the next thought is the activity of movement. And Each one is able to choose whether to synchronize with the thinking of the divine thinker and to zero in, tune in to I am that I am, expressing from good to greater good in ways and means of this one substance, the nature of God, or to think something else. And so this day, each one is aware that this divine thinker is thinking right where he or she is, and that there is a way to tune into this thought and have a personal experience of that divine thinking. And this personal experience of that which is divine creates a world and a life that is far beyond anyone's imaginations without it. It is a life of love and joy, a life that one loves completely because the I am that I am loves itself completely. And it is a life with a potential that the highest and the greatest possible good expressing in form is available to each one as each one thinks the divine thought of good to greater good. And so the trajectory of thinking continuously good to greater good, of contemplating the divine thoughts, absolutely moves each one into a whole realm of living that was unimaginable. A realm of living where grace and ease is normal, where everything works perfectly, where it is anything that anyone might have imagined heaven to be, it is here available on earth. And each one in making that commitment to think of the divine, to think its thoughts, and to stay with that chain of thinking as much as one can, is enough to completely change one's consciousness so that each one here is unrecognizable from what he or she had been. And so each one absolutely has within themselves this loving presence and its thoughts that are there, ready to take each one into a whole new, different, and yet more marvelous and wonderful experience of living than ever before. An experience of living that is more wonderful than anyone here has ever imagined, but also even more wonderful than what any other human being has experienced so far, because this infinite mind is always thinking beyond what it has thought before, and what is possible for anyone here to experience is already beyond what everyone has already experienced. So yes, a life unheard of, unimaginable, is available, exists as potential right as each one, in the thinking of each one. It is there, here, now. And that sequence of thought, that continuously unfoldment of idea to idea, exists within each one, and all that is required of anyone to tune in to that train of divine thought is to know it's there and to listen. And those divine thoughts shall rise up within each one. And they are amazing thoughts, thoughts of the good, the beautiful, the true, the thoughts that all is well, that everything is fine, and the thoughts of absolute love, that one is loved completely, unconditionally, and that no matter what one may have done or not done, that love is fully present. And so each one is now open to hearing the thinking of the divine that is present, to tune in to the music of that one voice that one celestial voice, and to hear and receive its thinking thought by thought, and enjoying the discovery of following that train of thought and where it leads him or her, an experience of absolute vitality, greater health than has ever been known before, more joy and more love, a greater freedom and ease in expressing oneself, success far beyond any one human being's machinations, and abundant, prosperous support without really having to do anything. Each one, in thinking the divine's thoughts, experiences its own natural activity of supporting its own expression. And so this is available. It is now rising up into each one's awareness from divine guidance. The next divine thought being thought, each one can hear, and each one's choice to pursue that train of thinking and to listen further than ever before is much more tantalizing than it has ever been before. And so each one does hear more than he or she has ever heard before. And the result of that slight, even a slight shift in thinking, is automatic, instantaneous healing of the lesser. I am grateful that this is the truth. I release this word to the law, so grateful that a law exists and takes care of this, so no one else has to. And so it is.